Good evening. I don't know where you are in the world. I know that I'm in the United States, and I am Carla from Rehan, Allahwala's World of Connections. And because I'm with Rehan, Allahwala's World of Connections, I am connecting to one of his friends in the Netherlands, and she'll tell us where she's from in a moment. Her name is Nathanie Molema, and I believe she was originally from Uganda. I'm not sure. We'll find out in a few moments. And I want to remind you that this show, like all of my shows, is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an organization that promotes peace one conversation at a time. Having said that, Laura, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Carla. Thank you as well for the invitation. My name is Nathanie Molema. I'm from the Netherlands. And Carla already mentioned it. I'm not from Uganda, but I am really passionate about this country. It's a country I really like to visit and spend a lot of time. So it's really a country what has my heart. And also one of my desires is to go immigrate to that country, but that's another story. So a little bit about myself. I'm a social worker by profession. But beside that, I really love to teach about the power of words and also about emotions. I want to do this at schools, but also in business. And I'm also making videos online. You can follow me on YouTube as well. So I share there some stories about the things I experience in life, just to teach some things, what I experience in life. So also other people can learn from it and maybe get some insights out of it. So that's very shortly, Carla, introduction about myself.
I see. Now, can you tell me, why do you love Uganda so much? Have you been there? Or
Yeah, I've been to Uganda now 4 times. And really from the first time I can remember when I get out of the plane, I really feel like at home. And since that moment, I really love to return like 1 or 2 times each year. I really love that people are very friendly and open. And I really love the nature as well. And also it's like in the West, the everything is so scheduled, and I like the community in the village and the way people live together. That's really something what I appreciate so much in Uganda.
how long were you in Uganda?
Last time I spent there 2 months, and before also 3 times a month.
And what road took you to Uganda?
It was an invitation from a friend, and he was doing some child work. So he was inviting me to help with the kids. And at that moment, this friend really helped me through some period. My mother passed away in that period when we were talking with each other. And afterwards, he sent me this invitation. And also because our connection was become better because of he was there in a hard time also as well. So I was like, okay, let's just take his chance. And I went there for 1 time, and afterwards I really, yeah, still love to go back. It
How
really feels also like family, the people who are there. So
wonderful. That sounds very, very cool. Now, you were telling me that you're very interested in words and how words are used. Can you tell me a little more of your background with this?
yeah, then I have to share a little bit personal story about myself, because the reason that I became really passionate about the power of words is that I divorced at the age of 23. And after that period, I sensed there were so many emotions what I was experiencing within myself, and I really didn't know how to deal with it. I really had a lot of negative thoughts about myself, and I was really not feeling happy and good. And at that moment, there was one friend, I was chatting with him on Messenger, I guess. And he was a friend who knows me already for so many years. And he said to me, like, Laura, but you're such an intelligent and young woman. Like, what's your problem? And because of his words, I really feel like encouraged, and it really changed my life. It's this, they were small words, and at that moment, he was not even aware about the power of the words he spoke to me. But these words was giving me the faith that I was capable of doing something. And it resonates with me something inside that I was like, yeah, that's the truth. I am capable. I am an intelligent young woman. So at that moment, I sense there is so much power in words. And when we use it more often for the good, we can make such a big change in our own life, but also in the life of someone else. So you never know. Also today at my work, I can remember there was one person, and I know she had like a little bit hard period, but always when I see her, she always makes me smiling. And I was like, let me just express my feeling towards her and say like, I really like it to see you. And I say it's always make me happy to see you. And she was also saying like, oh, Laura, it really touched me. And then again, it made me aware, like, words can be so powerful.
Are you involved within the Neurolinguistic Program?
Yeah, I've had the master and the practitioner.
And when did you start working with that?
I think from 2 years ago. But most of the things, like what I sense with methods or the things I read, it's something I'm not always very aware of which thing I'm using. So I've said I just mix a lot of things also from the transactionele analyse. It's from the parents and the adults and the child, what's or also parts of you. So for me, it's something what's, I'm not working with one method, but I think I discovered a lot of things by myself, just by doing.
Now, something you just said kind of perked my ears. You said about being the parent, the adult, and the child. What do you mean by that?
I mean by that, I think in ourselves, we have different parts. So if we look to ourselves, we can have sometimes feelings from the past or from our childhood, what pops up in this present moment by a situation, what's from outside, what triggers some feeling inside from the past. So I see like we have all in our life, we have all different parts, and we can be a parent for ourselves, we can be the adults, and we can have some feelings of a child inside us. And sometimes, for example, when I feel fearing for something or nervous or I feel sad, I sense sometimes, I call that sometimes my little child. It's just also something to make something more clear and to name it for myself. And then I just speak more as a parent to comfort that voice inside myself, the little child.
So, what you're saying is that we are all these three different personalities?
Yes. We have all these different parts inside us. So you can name it what feels comfortable with you.
So, how do we discern who I am at any given moment?
Can you say it again?
how do you decide what part you're playing at any given moment? Because who are those three parts?
Yeah.
One part, it appears to me that one part would be dominant at any given moment. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I think, let me see how I can explain this properly. I think every moment there is a different part which is talking, or which is on the forehand. So sometimes it's just something what is going to my inner experience that I know, okay, this is this kind of feeling. So it now needs some comfortable talk. So I don't use like the parents and the adults and the child. I don't use that names, but it's something to make it more clear if you explain it to someone else. But for me, when I feel like worried or anxious or something like that, I just try to use the words which a parent who is compassionate to his child to comfort myself.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, for me, it works. And it's also because, for example, if you had a parent who can be very critical, then it's also something what you can recognize within yourself. So at that moment, when I sense that, I can give a response to it or recognize it as this critical parent, which is not something which is helpful for me.
But how do you help like a child understand those three parts?
I'm not working with this with children.
Oh, you don't?
No, I think there are people who will do that, but for me, I should not know how to teach this to a child. Or
And how long have you been doing this?
What do you mean?
How long have you been involved in this? Did you just finish your studies and you became a practitioner?
It's just for me since, I think, since my divorce, so 8 years ago, that I'm just practicing this most of the time just for myself. And what I do before COVID was teaching at schools. And then I was sharing my life story and then making them aware about the power of words. What are the thoughts in your mind? What are there? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they from your parents? Are they from a teacher or from society?
Okay.
So it's not something what I do with very small kids.
So how old are most of your clients? Are they like teenagers or are they young adults?
No, they are above 18, most of them. Yeah.
Okay. So these people who come to you, how long have you been actually a practitioner of it, helping other people become aware of it?
I only did this on schools. So it's not what I do with individuals.
So when you're, okay, so there's a difference.
So
School.
Yeah, there is like one part, what I'm doing and what I want to do more is like the teaching at schools about the power of words. Before COVID, I was starting with it and it's something I want to expand. But at this moment, I'm still working as a social worker, but that's another part and another way of working than like using and being busy with the power of words, because that's really the thing what is related to the things I admire to do at the schools. And the other thing is my social work, where I'm just doing now with small kids, but that's another part. We play games and we work in different ways there.
So what your clientele are coming to you thinking of you as a social worker. Am I correct or no?
Yes.
Let's pretend I was one of your clients. And I'm coming in and I'm saying, Laura, I am feeling really rotten today. How can I go from rotten to at least feeling half decent? How would you work with me?
I think I first want to allow you to allow that you feel rotten at this moment. So accept that you feel rotten at this moment by yourself. That's the first step for me. Acceptance with who you are at that moment. And then I will just sense at the moment, is it right to go deeper in it? If this someone, do you want to talk about it? Then I recommend also to share, because I really believe it's good to express what you're feeling and not just cover something, what is coming up. And then I will try to see if we can discover together, like, what is the thing you need right now? So for example, someone else is coming to you with this same thing. What are the things you would say to this person? What are the things, how you will comfort this person? And I don't always believe that if you feel rotten, that you need to feel happy like immediately. Sometimes we also have to accept that it's rotten for a certain time, and then we can grow up. Or how do you say it? Then we can rise. But also discovering, like, what is the thing? What are the words you need at that moment to share to yourself? Maybe it's just by acknowledging the way you're feeling is already something, maybe words that you need, like, hey, I see you're feeling rotten. Are you okay? What do you need? Do you want to talk about it?
And where does this usually take you? Okay, let's say that I am upset about my finances. How would you guide me through?
If you feel upset about your finances, I think I first would ask you to write what money is for you. So money is, and then to discover what are the thoughts, or what is your vision about money? What is your view about money? To discover what is it, because I think your thoughts about money also, how do you say, create the results. If I believe I'm poor, then it's possible that because of that, I will not allow myself to create some extra income. So first thing I want to do is to discover what are your current thoughts about money.
So let's role play. Let's say I'm coming to you and I'm, Laura, I'm feeling rotten. Can you help me out? What would you say? I just walked into your office and told you that.
Oh. I have to feel about that.
I'm your client right now.
Yeah. And you come into my office and you say you're feeling rotten.
Really rotten.
Do you want to share something about it?
What do you want me to share, Laura?
The thing you want to share.
Like I can't get anything done. I'm just all over the place.
So you're feeling rotten.
Yeah, I'm not focused at all.
Okay, and how does it feel for you?
I can't focus. I don't know.
Okay. Do you want to write something about it?
No, I don't like to write.
Okay. So what is the thing you expect from me? Why did you come here today?
I came so you would make me help me feel better. So what words do I need to use to feel better? How do I shift from a negative mindset to a positive mindset?
Can you allow yourself to feel rotten at this moment?
What do you mean?
You share with me that you feel rotten.
Yeah.
And is it something what is okay for you at this moment?
No, I don't want to feel rotten. Who wants to feel rotten?
Yeah, I can understand.
So what do you suggest? How should I change my words?
What do you say to yourself that you feel like this? What happened before?
I just don't feel successful.
You don't feel successful?
Yeah.
Okay. So what made you feel not successful?
Well, what do I just don't seem to be able to get anything done. I start working on one thing and I end up going to another thing because someone says finish this and someone says finish that. And I don't know how to stay focused.
Okay. And do you know what you want? Where do you want to put your focus?
We're playing now. I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be coming to you. So help me figure out what words I need to use to change the negative to the positive.
Okay. Is there any situation before you can remember where you feel successful?
Not right now. No.
No. Okay. And if I came to you and I was saying like, oh, I feel so rotten and I don't know, what would you say to me?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Remember, you're the professional here.
Yes, I am the profession, but I also believe that professional is inside you.
Again, you're not looking at me as someone who does what I'm doing. You're helping me through. It's changing the mindset, and many people have trouble finding a positive mindset when they're feeling negative. So can you help me help people find the positive in the midst of the negative?
I think it depends on the person. If someone already has some awareness about the thoughts or the way they think, that's for me something like I don't feel like I'm so experienced that I can help someone already who maybe is not very aware of thoughts or doesn't have any background in it. So I think that's for me something what's helpful in that.
Am I making this very difficult for you right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to an easier way. Just explain to me how you work with people in order to change the mindset. Forget about me being your patient or your client.
The only thing I do, Carla, is I'm going to schools just to make things to create awareness about the power of words. So I'm not working with individuals on this certain point. It's just like I believe there are so many people and professionals who are here around also in the Netherlands and worldwide who can help. For me, I'm going to the schools just to share my story, to create openness about talking about your feelings, that it's okay to talk about your feelings, and to share and create awareness about the thoughts. So for example, I share my story and then they are in groups apart together. They write on a paper what kind of things are in your mind, or what kind of things which is negative, what is said to you, which things are positive, which were said to you. And by that, I want to create a safe environment so they feel okay to be open and to have this conversation about it with each other. And also about the things what happen in their life, just to create this open space for it.
So how do you do
this? Sorry?
How do you do that? How do you
By being the
how do you change that thinking process?
That's not something what I do in that moment.
Okay.
So I just give this teaching. It's just one teaching, or sometimes it's two, and then I leave again. So it's not something which has a follow-up yet.
So tell me your story with these techniques. You told me that it works. You don't have to get into very personal information, but generally, how does it work?
Generally, it's like what I shared. If I have a certain feeling, I try first to acknowledge which feeling it is. So most of the time, by acknowledging what kind of feeling it is, I already sense there comes some more peace. And then after acknowledging what is there, I just try to see what is needed. Sometimes it's also just to say like, I see you have a very hard day. And by acknowledging that, sometimes I just feel tears are coming. And then, so the words what I use is, it's okay. I see you had a bad day, or I see it's hard. I shall not use the word bad. I see you're having a hard day. What do you need? So it's most of the time words to acknowledge what is there and to give myself some space, or to encourage myself.
Okay.
So it's the conversation with myself. I think that's the main thing, what I do with words.
Okay, so let's say something happened, like your cat was really sick, and you were upset about it. How would you change your words to make it easier for you to go through that experience of upset?
I would say to myself like, I understand, it's hard, you love your cat, and you can take some time just to relieve what is there, and then we just go on. So I would, the main thing for me is just to create the space, to allow yourself to feel what is there at this moment, to give expression to it, because that's also the release of it will make me feel that it's okay. If I'm going to suppress, I don't know if that's English, to pull it down, my feelings, then I sense I'm feeling trouble, because I feel my energy get stuck. So I try to see what kind of words do I need at that moment to allow this energy to flow to myself and to give expression to what is there.
So if you are feeling negative, you feel kind of clogged up. Is that correct? And if you're feeling clogged up, you're looking for something to unclog you. Am I getting this right?
I don't know, because I don't know the word clog up, but the first thing is, if I feel negative, allow myself that I'm negative at this moment. So I will not judge myself. So if I sense I'm judging myself, like, Laura, what you're doing now, it's not good, you should know better, all this kind of words, if I sense it with myself, I will just say, okay, no, we're not going to this judgment, because judgment will not help me at that moment. So the first step for me is acceptance. Acceptance, okay, I feel this fear, but even with this fear, okay, it's there, I will do it. But for me, but if I'm going to judge with my words in my mind, like, Laura, oh, you never learned how to do this. Laura, it's not good to feel like this. Why you don't learn it? These words will give me more negative.
Right.
But if I only say, like, Laura, you're good, everything, that also will not give, how do you say it? Respect to one part of myself. I believe we have to integrate all parts, or at least see all parts of ourselves. So I believe that's why I always say, like, okay, no judgment. I accept, I feel this fear. I see you're fearing, but I know we did this before. So it's okay. But we're just going and we're doing it together. So that's the parent part and the kid part. Sometimes your child can feel like, oh, I don't know, this is a new situation. Then you can come up with this thoughts of a parent and say, it's fine. I know how to do this. I know it will work out. So it's fine. Let's just do this. And that's the words what calm this child's thoughts, which is jumping like, I don't know, it's new situation. And just comfort it.
So the comfort comes, tell me if I'm right or wrong, by remembering who you are, and it's okay to be negative, or it's okay to feel what you are instead of resisting it. Am I right?
Yes.
Now?
Yes. Yes.
So you wouldn't
The way I see.
So in your practice, you would never tell someone, you're not feeling well, get rid of it. You would say, okay, it's okay to feel that.
Yeah, and then look further where you want to go, of course. Because for me, I also don't want to feel negative all the time, for example. I don't feel so, but don't judge it. I think that's the main thing. Don't judge that you feel negative sometimes. Don't judge that you feel, and also don't judge if you have big dreams, because that's also something what we can do.
Many people are afraid, are not willing to stop judging. So what do you recommend when someone says, oh, I need to judge it. I've been told this all my life. I may not be good, or I may not be able to do something. How do you get someone out of that mindset?
I think I would ask the question, like, how would you feel if you let go of this judgment? If you let go of this judgment, how would your life look like? How would you feel? And how would you feel if you keep this judgment? So just sense, like, to imagine, like, or close your eyes, like, okay, if I believe about myself, I'm not able to do anything. What would it mean after 1 year? How would that affect my life? And what if you let go of this judgment? How would this feel for you? So I think that's one of the points I would invite someone to discover.
Now, do you use this process with the people who come in to see you as a client, or do you use it basically just for yourself?
Basically, I'm just using it for myself, and I'm also coaching at the NLP practitioner, so that's also, of course, where I use it, but not with the kids at work, because it's a different hulpvraag, a different question. They are there for a different reason. So it's not what I'm using at my work.
And what is your work again? Are you working with kids or are you working with adults?
No, it's with kids.
And how old are the kids?
They are between, the kids where I'm working with at the moment, between 9 and 13.
Which is can be a very rough age for kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you noticed that the kids have changed since you've begun working with this?
I think it's really, I don't want to put all the credits on myself, because I really believe the place where I'm working, we're really working as a team, but also the place by itself, the main thing what we find important is that the environment is a place where kids feel they are okay. They are okay with who they are, so that they have this safe place where they feel they are welcome with what they have or whatever. So that's the main thing, to create this environment where the kids feel like loved and welcoming, and
Yeah.
and that's also where you see kids going to blossom when they feel like, maybe sometimes in the beginning they are shy, they even don't want to come out of the car, and just by allowing that, also just to be there, we are not going to force you or whatever, just by like creating this environment, like you're okay where you are right now and with who you are right now. And that's where you see like people growing automatically, because when they feel okay, there's a difference. So that's what I really love about my work there. It's like, we're not forcing our children to work together or whatever, but we want to create a safe environment where they can, without knowing it, to exercise, to experience how it is to interact with other kids, and that they are still okay, and that it's okay if they sometimes maybe shouting or whatever, but that they always be able to come back, that they are okay.
And that's very, very important, because kids, especially nowadays, have such a rough time. I know I taught in a school where the kids basically, were raising themselves instead of someone else, an adult giving them background, that support.
Yeah.
Are the kids you're dealing with lacking support, or?
I find it a very big thing to say that they're lacking support. Because I also don't want to put some blame on parents, because I think like with everything, I also sense it with myself. I wasn't raised up by talking about emotions, so it's something I had discovered by myself at a later age. So, but I think there is some parts of the kids what are maybe not seen or not recognized, or maybe not understand. Maybe not the question behind the behavior is seen. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's also challenging in this, like, if I sense it with myself, all the things you have to do, or you also have a choice, of course, and I decide to create more space in my life also. But I can imagine that it's sometimes challenging for a teacher at school, or for parents or whatever, to really reduce your speed and to talk with each other, to see each other, to just be.
It's very difficult. And I think it's really difficult for kids to move forward and feel comfortable. Because
Where do you see it?
they don't know, unless I mean, some guidance, but yet we need to allow the children to grow. You know, how they want. If they want to grow a little right, yeah, that's okay. Or left, or go in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's also what I love, to be honest, in Uganda, because I know the lockdown is not a good thing, but I really also love, like, I see these kids in the village, they are so creative. They make something out of nothing. And because there's the space is there in school, kids have to do this and they should do this. And I think really a lot of Ugandan kids, they are so creative. They learn how to think in solutions. I always say there are so much diamonds in these kids, really, because of the environment. They discover a lot. They are really discovering a lot by their senses, instead of only watching to a phone or to a screen. And yeah, that's what I really love there. I see so much quality in them.
Do you think part of that has to do with the parents being parents, more so than saying, oh, we're so busy working, let's watch, you can watch TV or you can play on the computer, and they begin doing that more than relating to other people?
I think it's something what is difficult to compare, because there are also the parents have to work hard, most of them, to get food on the table. For example, they are busy a whole day with laundry, for example, because there are no washing machines. So they are busy with preparing food, and so they are also busy in a certain way. But I think they give more trust, freedom, and also the community, of course, is like part of the safe boundaries for the kids. If mother is cooking, grandmother is there, or some nephew or some neighbor who is also watching over them or not watching over them. But that's also going well. So here, I think when kids play outside, is everything okay? So they have more freedom, and that's not always working out for the good, but most of the time it does.
Yeah, because when kids are growing up in the city, they don't, some have never seen a tree or seen grass, you know.
Yeah.
It's all a completely different world.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I also really love, but that's my point of view, like, um, you see some of the conditions are maybe not okay. And if you look, for example, of the clothing of the kids or whatever, they are not even having like proper clothes. Most of them have holes or whatever. But here we can be so busy with all these outside things, maybe sometimes. But what I really appreciate, they I don't see they make discernment in people or in kids. You're kids, so you just don't judge by the outside, by the looking or whatever. And even the smallest thing they have, they share. I'm really always so surprised by that. If I look to myself, I'm thinking like, oh, whoa.
But do you think it's because kids are growing up as kids instead of kids growing, and I like technology, don't get me wrong, but they're not having always on technology, so they're learning to be more social? Do you think that could be part of it?
Yeah, I think it could be part of it. Yeah. And of course, on the phone, you can also be social, but in a different way. It also asks other skills to be social on social media or in real life. But I think if I talk for myself, I think the kids there, you learn more to feel what is in your body. Like, how can I say, like, I think our body has also a big knowledge about intuition, all this kind of parts. And sometimes these devices can make us get too attached with our minds instead of feeling, because everything goes so fast. Sometimes I sense with myself, my mind is just like, I want to grab this, I want to grab this, instead of like feeling, be in your body. What do you need right now? So I think that's also one part. I think they are more like doing, they are more like action takers. Yeah, instead of like doubting, should I do this? No, just go.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by this whole idea. Because I've seen kids be more like 40 years old than 15. And I'd like to see kids going back to being 15, going back to running across the street and riding their bikes. And anyway, we've been speaking a pretty long time. I'm wondering how you are feeling right now and what you would like to leave our audience with.
Okay. I'm grateful for the interview, but the one questions about the patients, I was a little bit flabbergasted, to be honest, but that's fine. So I also that's what I mean. Like, for me, I want to share in authenticity. So I'm not like, I know. No, I was just, what should I do? So that was it was a uncomfortable moment a little bit. But beside that, I really enjoy, and I also sense I'm always getting excited and happy when I'm talking about Uganda.
Words that you like to leave our audience with?
Be aware of the words you use when you're talking to yourself.
Yeah, because sometimes I think we're really tough on the words we use, and it doesn't help anyone.
No.
And having said that, I want to thank you for speaking with me today. And
thank you, Carla.
So very much. I've learned a lot. And I hope you'll speak with me again. And what I want to do now is end the conversation and remind people that this interview is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. And are you ready to wave goodbye? Don't go anywhere. We just want to wave goodbye. Bye, everyone.